Hi, I'm Emerson Niemchick. I'm an artist, actor, director, writer. Let's just call it a storytelling animal. That's kind of been a constant theme in my life. Performing and creating and discovering. It's all this really big, never-ending circle. In 2021, I suffered a colossal loss. Without a doubt, the darkest time in my life. Those were dark days. A year later, I look back and see the art that I created from those ashes. 90% of the stuff you're about to see I haven't shown anyone. It's never been displayed or showcased. It's sort of a private collection, like a visual journal, if you will. This is a very personal piece to me, and although it's very close to my heart, it's also been very guarded. Now, this is not meant to serve as a limelight for victimhood or a huckster of blame. That's not what this is. This is not about the how or the why. I mean, this is art. This is what I do. I take emotions and feelings and I create with it. When you don't understand the scenery in front of you, just accept the experience and feel your way through it. There's always light. This short film is that light. It's evidence that there's incredibly beautiful things that can come out of ashes. There's always light. And I'm still here. This next story is so crazy. It's stories like this that can never make me an atheist. Because if you're really paying attention, if you choose to pay attention, you can see this all the time in everyday life, sort of this magic that there is something else far greater than we can comprehend out there. I'm in my room one day and I'm editing and I go to use the bathroom and there's this bee that's dying on the windowsill. And this is extremely unusual. I have lived in this place for about 3 years. There's never been an insect, at least a bee. There's never been a bee inside of the house. It was just dying. That was very weird, I thought. It was an odd sight. So, about a few hours later, that same bee is now on my front doorstep on the mat, and it's dead. For this bee to go from the bathroom, it would have had to go out the window, fly over a roof, then up a little tower, through a staircase, and land on a mat. It's like it had to muster the strength to do that. About a week later, I'm in Malibu eating with a really dear friend. She's extremely connected to the spirit and God and the magic that's in the world. I love her for it. And I'm telling her this story, and she grabs my arm, and she goes, "Hey, you need to heed that. That is a sign of death and rebirth, and that's about to enter your life." And not even 4 hours after she tells me this, and we have this lunch, everything happened. Oh. Fucking bees. Everybody wanted me to do therapy. I'm not anti-therapy, but I'm also not the biggest fan. If we can only craft opinion on experience, I just feel I was a little burned by the whole thing. You know, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great that there's apps and accessibility for so many people out there that just need somebody to talk to, that need a reliable pair of ears. When you have your average person coming in with years and years of, emotional conditioning and wiring, and maybe even trauma, it's incredibly difficult to bring that therapist, regardless of their credentials or experience, how do you bring them up to speed? Even possibly, how do you fill in all of that time with just maybe 1 to 2 hours, a week? As a therapist, you put somebody on this path that could derail or accelerate their current trajectory. But I think the real power for humans is actually being able to be aware and conscious of what your trajectory actually is. And I think most people recognize they're not happy with their current path, so that's why they go to therapy. But I think while you can get useful tools from therapy, those tools are now with you still on that path. I use the analogy of a map. Imagine you're given a map of a city, and there's, a compass, and there's street names, and you could maybe know where to turn, and this street crosses with that street, but you need to be aware if you actually have the right map. So I'm writing a really powerful letter right now, and as I'm sitting here writing it, this spider just comes down and hangs out with me. Now he's crawling up. It's like he doesn't want to be filmed. But moments ago, he was just hovering right here, just observing me write the letter. And I thought, this little guy has no idea the insane amount of history, power, and emotion that is happening just inches below his little body. What a unified experience this thing of life is, I think the idea of soulmates, I don't think there's the one. I think there's absolutely people you're compatible with, for sure. I do think, what I like to think is a soulmate is a person who comes along and illuminates your own soul and nurtures and sort of helps extol the person that you are. That's all I got to say about that. I love taking photos of sunsets. That was one of the joys I look forward to during that entire time, was on certain nights when it was really pretty. Truly, it's some of the most breathtaking sunsets you'll ever see in California, and the specific view I had from my home was just incredible. It was breathtaking. It's kind of just like the final curtain call of the whole day, and the sky, for about that 15-minute window, it just absorbs all of the personalities and trauma and energy and sorrow and dreams, and it just paints the sky with it. It just paints these incredible visuals. You had about 15 minutes to really capture the colors and the sunsets, and it just felt very sacred to me. It was like my own little secret. I didn't know how I would end this, so I thought I would read an excerpt from a book called Inward by Diego Perez. Some of you may know him as Young Pueblo. I've read this book probably 3 times. It's written like a devotional, very easily digestible, but it's extremely rich. And I wanted to share. As she was swimming in the ocean of wisdom that dwells in her heart, she understood deeply that all was a part of her, that no one was separate from her. She whispered lightly with this newfound peace, "I am everything." That was when she realized that her greatest power is, and always was, her ability to love herself. True power is the realization that you are your own hero, healer, and leader. My name is Derek Emerson Niemchick. I am my own hero, healer, and leader. I create and restore, even if it's me. How do you end that? Kiss? Maybe a wink? I'm just gonna get up. That feels cool. We'll do that. We'll walk away.
I hear you calling. Hi-oh, you rolling river, oh Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Hi-oh, I'm bound away across the wide Missouri. Hi-oh, you rolling river, when she rolls down, her topsail shiver. Hi-oh, I'm bound away across the wide